Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we're using beads from December's Bargain Bead Box, Earthen Elegance. We're going to make a little bracelet. It's going to be a very delicate little bracelet, and just about every bead in this is going to be from, except for a couple of spacers, is going to be from the Bargain Bead Box Earthen Elegance. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, this is going to be a very delicate little bracelet, because we're going to use a lot of the smaller beads. Just going to have one 10 millimeter, and then we have, this is the lobster claw and connector for the lobster claw. Okay, we have one more in here. There it is. There's our crimp tubes. Now for my stash, we have these 4 little melon spacers and these 2 Saturn spacers. Saturn spacers are going to go on either side of our big jasper. These little spacers are going to be on the little jasper. The other things are not going to have any spacers. We are going to use our bicones as if they were spacers. So we're going to go bicone, little rondelle, bicone, 3 of the little garnets. I said it was going to be delicate. Bicone, rondelle, bicone, these guys. Then we'll do the same over here. Bicone, rondelle, bicone, 3 little guys. Bicone, rondelle, bicone. Then we're going to go with put the jasper in, just like so. And we're going to make another layer of this pattern. So we will go bicone, rondelle, bicone, 3 tinies, bicone, rondelle, bicone. Over here, bicone, rondelle, bicone. Ah, there you are. 3 tinies, bicone, rondelle, bicone. And we're going to string it up on our butterscotch soft flex beading wire. Well, it's butterscotch imperial topaz. So I am going to put a bead stopper on this one side so that the beads don't slide in, and we're just going to start beading. And I think we should have plenty, but you never can tell. We may need to add some more. Now here comes the hard part, putting these little teeny weeny guys on. The hard part is finding their hole, because they're so small that the hole likes to hide. There's 2. Come on, baby. And 3. Okay, now up the pattern again with the bicone, rondelle, bicone. See how delicate that's going to be? Isn't that pretty? So then we're going to put in our jasper here, and it's 2 spacers. And these jaspers are going to be the biggest pieces on here. Now we'll just go up this row again with the bicone, rondelle, bicone, and then the 3 tiny guys. There it is. Sorry if I was going off screen while I was trying to find those little guys. But we're just going to finish up the pattern over here. Now here's our central bead with our big 10mm jasper. And now we'll do the exact same pattern on this other side. There we go. It's a nice jasper. It's got some nice patterning in it. Okay, we're back to the teeny tinies again. These little guys are hard to work with because, like I say, you can't see the hole. Or it's very hard to find its hole, maybe I should say. There we go. And then the last 3 beads, and we'll see if our length is. I think it should be just about right for when we add our lobster claw and stuff in. Slide you over here. There's our there. Okay, that comes to, oh, it's 7 right there. We only want another 1/2 inch total, so we may want to take off the 2 bicones at the end so that it ends up at 6.5 here, and by the time we put these in, we're going to add at least another 1/2 inch. So I'm thinking we're going to take off those 2 back bicones. Okay, I've taken off those 2 and cut the wire, and now we are at 6.5 right here. Once we crimp these ends and put on our, see, it's going to go over here, but you got to remember we're also going to have this little lobster claw holding it on and our 2 crimps, so we're probably going to add that inch back right there. So let's get our, and because this is so small and delicate, I doubt very strongly if we're going to add very much space when we wrap it around. So let's get this on, and we will, oop, come on you, we'll get this baby on here. Onto here and here. Obviously, it's not going to go twice through the little tiny garnets, so we're going to crimp her right here. Now I use the magical crimpers, and this is a crimp. You'd use 2x2 crimp tubes. You put it right in the center of that and then squish. Turn it, squish again, and keep turning and squishing until it's not giving you any more resistance, which is right now. So now, because I know that's not going to go through those teeny tiny ones, I'll cut this wire off right here at the end of this bicone. And then slide our wire over. See how we're doing there? So now we're going to put the other crimp in with this other jump ring, which is what's going to hold our lobster claw in place, and back through here and over through this other bicone here, if we can get it to go through. And we should be able to, but we don't want to break it by trying to force it. There we go. Nope, it didn't go after all. So we aren't going to try and get it through the bicone. It does not want to go through. So let's just slide this stuff down here till we get to where we need to be at. And now we're going to measure this to make sure it's going to fit, how it's going to be. If we need to, before we crimp this down, we can add one of these bicones back in. So I think we're going to actually put the lobster claw on here, at least temporarily, and hook it up to the other side so we can see when we measure this exactly what our length is going to be, because we may want to add in one of those bicones again. So we're going to put this on here, and I haven't crimped it, as you can see. Tighten this down. Now the reason I use a jump ring on the bicone as opposed to, onto the lobster, as opposed to just hardwiring it in, is because sometimes your lobster claws break, and you don't want to have a broken lobster claw. Instead of trying to just change the lobster claw, then you have to restring the whole thing. When it's on a jump ring, if it breaks, then you have that option of just taking the jump wire off, or the jump ring off, and then you can simply change the jump ring. Okay, that goes down to, it's pretty darn close to 7. I think we would have been all right to put the other bicone on the other side. It probably would have come down a little further. But it's right at 7 right there. So if we wanted it a little bigger, we could make it, put the bicones back in. But, you know, it's 7 inches. It's pretty good. I think I'm just going to crimp it right here. So I think we're pretty good here. So I'm just going to crimp this. And then we will cut that extra wire and be finished with it. I'll crimp. Give it a tug test, and then cut this extra wire off, and our bracelet is finished. Now, like I said, if we had wanted it just a touch longer, we could have put at least one of the bicones back, maybe even both of them, but we would have been at least 7.5 with both of them in there, since I think we're at 7 now with this. Yeah, we're at 7. Right at 7. So, there's our pretty little bracelet using our December Bargain Bead Box. So there we go. This is our finished little bracelet using our December Bargain Bead Box. Very delicate, very cute. And just about everything in it is from the box, except for some couple of spacers. And of course your wire and your lobster claw. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? Hope you enjoyed making this with me. This is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.